This video is on how I learned to be more confrontational, how I learned to be more direct with still remaining as loving and as kind as possible to others and myself. If you describe yourself as a non-confrontational person, if conflict makes you go into fight or flight, I can relate to you in a level that you do not understand. I wasn't raised in a household where confrontation was done. And when confrontation was done, it was like these big, catastrophic, explosive experiences. And so for me, confrontation always looked like really aggressive, really chaotic. And so I spent a large part of my life avoiding conflict. And what that did was just create like unhealthy dynamics in my life with myself, in relationships, at work. And it just bled into every area of my life because one of the life skills you need in this lifetime is how to speak up for yourself, how to address your needs, how to communicate, even when it's uncomfortable. And what I know for sure is that it's a skill that you can learn because I've learned it myself. And I still get so uncomfortable when I have to speak my truth and I know that it's an uncomfortable truth, but I do it anyways. And this video is on how I do it. So the first thing is that I stopped labeling myself a non-confrontational person. That is not an identity. It is a skill that you learn. So confrontation is really just directness. It is speaking directly about what you need, how you feel, and what you believe in that moment. And it is a skill and it is a practice. You are not a non-confrontational person. You are just someone that feels uncomfortable with confrontation because it's a skill you haven't honed in on, but it's learnable. Just like how you can learn how to ride a bike, you can also learn how to be more direct. It's a skill that you can learn how to do with practice. And the only person you harm is yourself when you do not speak up for yourself. That is the only person that is being harmed. And also the other person that has no idea how you feel. That person is also being harmed. But to not address your needs is a form of self-abandonment. You're abandoning yourself to keep the peace, but really all it does is harm the person and keep them at a distance because they can't even see or know how you really feel. The biggest shifts I made in order to become a more direct person was the belief that I deserve to be heard, that my needs deserve to be held and cared for. And the only person that will advocate for myself, especially at work or in dynamics, is myself. So it is my responsibility to address how I feel, to address my bandwidth, to address my capacity. It is my responsibility, and I deserve to be heard. I deserve my needs to be addressed. That is just like a fundamental belief. And I find that when people struggle with confronting or being direct, it's because there's a level of, do you genuinely believe that you deserve to be heard? Do you believe that you're worthy of your needs being addressed? Do you feel like a worthiness of taking up space? When those things are lacking or not as strong, there is a struggle and an uncomfortability in confronting and addressing how you feel. When you know I deserve this, you hesitate less when you have an opportunity to speak up for yourself. So I love the affirmation, I deserve to be heard, and I speak up for myself. When I was strengthening my throat chakra, which if you get a lot of sore throats, that also might be like, I really struggled with a lot of sore throats when I was honing in on this skill. Those were affirmations that I would say every single day is, I deserve to be heard and I speak up for myself. And in like really uncomfortable conversations I've had with managers in the past, I had to say that like a mantra like 10,000 times. I'm not even exaggerating. Like I had to say it a lot so that I could finally believe it. I deserve to be heard and my needs deserve to be addressed. And I speak up for myself. And I would just say that on loop until I believed it. Then there is this misconception that if you are honest with someone, then there's like a fear that they will leave, right? Like, especially if you have an anxious attachment style, you have a fear that, oh, if I say how I really feel, they'll take it poorly and they won't take it well and they'll leave. And what I know for sure is that that is possible, but on the flip side, what you gain is more closeness and more like intimacy when you speak your truth. When you do not speak your truth, you hold the connection in a level of darkness because that person doesn't know how you feel. And so while you're holding hands, they have no idea what you're experiencing or how you feel. And so there's a gap in the connection. And what I know to be true is that every time I've voiced my need and it has been addressed or soothed or talked about, I just got closer with the person. And I like to also put it on the flip side. I would hope that if someone was upset with me, uncomfortable with me, or needed something, that they would feel safe and comfortable to address it to me so that I could make them as like comfortable or help them in what they needed, you know? If you would want them to do it to you, why can't you do it to them? Is often a question that I ask myself. There's also this misconception that you either can be kind or you can be honest, and that you can't hold both of those things at the same time. But I would argue that the most loving version of yourself holds your truth also. I remember I had to confront my manager once, and obviously that's like really high pressure and very uncomfortable. And she reacted very poorly. And while obviously it wasn't the response that I wanted, I now knew that my manager wasn't someone that I could be safe with and I could seek support for. So then I actively started like job searching and finding a different environment for me to feel safe. And so when you feel like, oh, but I don't want to rock the boat, it will reveal truths in like more quickly, and you'll be able to know if a person is safe for you to be around. And as an adult, it's our responsibility to keep ourselves safe, which is my next point. The more that you connect with your inner child, the more of a guardian you become to him or her or they. And what I mean by that is the more that I connect to my inner child, the more that I want to keep her safe and the more I want to protect her. So the more likely I am to advocate for her and her needs. And when we are non-confrontational, it is because we learned early in life that to confront is to be unsafe. But now we get to be our own parent and we get to take care of ourselves and we get to confront our needs and address our needs in real time. And we are always safe. We are always safe. We are always safe. And every time you speak up for yourself, you are also advocating and speaking up for that inner child within you. And she deserves, or he deserves, or they deserve to be heard. And so instead of viewing it as like this an aggressive thing, you can view it as a nurturing thing. To confront and to be direct is to nurture the inner child within you. Like any practice, it's easier to start small. Start when someone messes up your order or you like are like, actually, can I do that instead? When you advocate for the smaller things in real time, it will make bigger moments easier because it's something you've practiced and you've built the muscle of being more direct. And so that is what I have to say about being more direct and more loving. If you are one to suppress your needs, to suppress how you feel, to not say how you feel in real time because you're scared of a reaction, know that it is a skill that can be learned with time. And it takes time. Just like when you were a baby and you were learning how to walk, you fell a lot. And it can be viewed as the same way when it comes to confronting yourself. Just because you are scared or fumble over your words the first time you advocate for yourself doesn't mean that you can't. It's just a skill that you can refine, and it is a real form of self-love. To love yourself is to advocate for yourself, to speak up for yourself, to speak up for your needs. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of your needs. You're worthy of taking up space and people hearing what you have to say. Even if your voice shakes, you are so worthy and so deserving of it. And so if this video resonated with you, please give a like or a comment or share it. Please subscribe if this resonated with you. And I have big news, and the big news is that I have launched a website called withjoyeileen.com. And in that website, I will have just an about me, what I'm all about. And then also it has the events that I hold. I hold a self-love circle once a month on Sundays. And then I also am launching other services. And I would love for you to see if this resonates with you. You can go on withjoyeileen.com, and I will be back with more videos on how to love yourself more deeply so that you can actually experience more joy. Bye.